Group 3 Different Habits Between Chinese and American College Students. Members Yuhan Jiang, Qikai Zhang, Cong Wang. Introduction. Today we want to talk about different habits between Chinese and American college students. We will focus on three aspects: eating habits, difference in spending spare time, and learning habits. Our first topic is difference in eating habits. As we all know, food plays an important role in our daily life. Different countries have different cooking style and cuisines. As a freshman from China, I found food a big challenge for Chinese students when we studied in America because eating habits of Chinese and American are totally different. First, Chinese and Americans have different table manners. According to formal Western table etiquette, there are many kinds of knives, forks, spoons, goblets, and plates which have different usages. However, Chinese students always use chopsticks and spoons for eating. For informal table manner, Americans use hands to eat food like fries and hamburger. However, Chinese students never touching food directly by hands because it's considered as a bad manner in Chinese culture. Then Chinese students always like sitting around the big table to share foods in public dishes. Americans like to eat food in their own plates. Second, different food types between Chinese and American. Chinese students like hot food, which Americans like cold. In American, milks and vegetables are always refrigerated, and Chinese students like fully cooked food, but Americans don't. Chinese students like fully cooked vegetables, but Americans like raw vegetables with salad sauce. American students like steaks which in medium or rare levels. Chinese students always choose well done level. Also, Chinese students like more flavored food than Americans. For example, Chinese students like salty and spicy food such as hot pot. Americans like sweet food more. It's not easy for Chinese students to adapt to American food. Here is an example of Qikai Zhang, a student who studied in Boston University, came from Chongqing, which is famous for spicy and hot food. He says most of Americans do think like Panda Express is like a symbol of Chinese food, but actually that's not a real Chinese food. Although Chinese restaurant is easy to find, but it's not easy to find decent food, which means real Chinese food. And there are some advices from professors in the University of Nebraska. If students cannot find real Chinese food, they can try to eat healthy American diet. These diets can balance calories and help people become healthy. They gave advice on how to adjust to a healthier recipe in American, such as eat more vegetables and fruits, less sugar to control calories. Next, I want to talk about difference between American student and Chinese student spending their spare time. Firstly, I just want to say after class activities. American students after class want to relax and to some party to talk with their friends because they think after busy life they need to relax in weekend. But Chinese students more like to continue studying in library and prepare for their paper.
A survey found that Chinese students after school more want to participate in these three activities: extracurricular sports groups, extracurricular learning class, community activities. But American students more like to participate in these three activities: extracurricular activities for sports team, part-time jobs, volunteer activities. These surveys show that most of Chinese students spend their spare time to come school or just study in library. That is the main reason for why Chinese students still have large passions. Secondly, in spare time, they want to participate in different fields. Like American students, they want to join some clubs and make some friends. Also, they want to have part-time job to do some volunteer. That is why American students become more independent. Like Chinese students, maybe they just want to shopping or stay at home. They don't have some idea about to have a part-time job. Particularly Harvard School in England, for example, although the school team take lots of spare time into traveling in the summer semester, but the performance has not been affected. School participate, Lelong said, physical exercise, manual work, play rotation, extracurricular activities both play important roles in educational achievement. For students, they participate in extracurricular activities, can inspire their confidence and have passion for learning. That also can improve students to get good grades.
So as for the point 3, we're gonna talk about the difference in learning habits. So for the in-class participation, Chinese students and American students show huge difference in class participation. An experienced instructor named Matt in UCI, University of California, Irvine campus, said that most Chinese students barely talk in his class. They tend to listen very quietly. However, American students behave very actively. They raise hands whenever they meet questions or they just come up with some good ideas. Matt at first got very surprised when that Chinese students have such an outstanding learning ability because they never had questions to ask in class. Later, Matt realized that this is just a habit of Chinese students. They prefer to discuss questions with friends after class. And for the after class study, doing homework, for example, according to a survey conducted by the Students' Union in Michigan University, more than 66% of Chinese students like to go to a library with one or two friends, and they stay there for a long time, and they like to go to a library only once or twice a week to complete their homework, so that they have more spare time on other things. However, American students do their homework anyway, everywhere. They do homework in the dining hall, and the gym, and even on the oval in a sunny day. And Chinese students like to ask senior students for help to make things easier. But most American students, they prefer to do homework individually. And in generally, the average grade of Asian students is higher than Americans, and Asian students spend longer time on study. And for the conclusion of our topic, Undisputedly, there exist many more differences between Chinese and American college students. We can't judge we can't judge which is good or which is bad. However, uh, the difference uh, the differences are the product of different cultures. In order to survive in colleges, Chinese students should learn a lot from the native students. On the other hand, there are also some things Americans should learn from Chinese. And this is our reference. That is all. Thanks for watching.